Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
Okay, guys, another episode of Shellonomics. Long time no see. We are back with our good streaming friend SewerBushido. They have taken some time out of their hectic summer to play Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for Nintendo. Now, before we get started, Sewer was requesting to play the Japanese version, which is something I've actually never seen. So I'm excited for it to see what kind of differences there are. Sewer, if you'd like to show us, how do you actually get to the Japanese game? It's possible through the Cowabunga collection, you're telling me?
Yeah, so Cowabunga collection, hold on a second. Cowabunga collection, I can switch region with the Y button on the menu. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game in North America. It's just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just the same as the arcade game, which is a port of in Japan. And that's because the original Turtles game wasn't called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Japan. It was called Gekikame Ninja Den, which means the Legend of the Extreme Ninja Turtles. So this one got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles proper as its first title.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to play the Japanese version today, and I'm going to leave extra lives on today just for
it's a chill day today.
Make it easy. So
Chill.
Make it chill.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Nice casual play.
but yeah, so in this one, you'll see it's not Ultra, it says Konami right there. So, you know that, like, it's the Japanese version.
The colors even look a bit better. Like that Turtles green looks a lot greener here.
It does it. Yeah, a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
So that might be the filter I have on, too,
Oh,
the
okay.
TV filter down here
Okay.
from the menu. So, but yeah. So what I'm going to do, so Turtles in Time, not Turtles in Time, Turtles the arcade game, Japanese. I'm going to play as Raphael for this game. Raphael, all the Turtles are similar. I don't know if they're exactly the same, but they're similar. But Raphael, just by accident, has a little bit more hitbox reach than the other Turtles, which is going to make some of the things we're going to do today a little bit easier. So Raph is the guy to play as for this game.
Really? Everybody always thought, again, Donatello, we talked about that in our Game Boy podcast we just did not too long ago. So actually, they're all pretty much the same, except Raph has a little bit more range. Wow.
Yeah. So if there is differences between the four of them, like it's pretty minor and like it's not really and you're gonna have to get really seriously into the game to care about those differences.
Okay.
But if you just want to do it, but Raph is your easy mode character as far as these four are concerned.
Kind of a scary way to start the game, too. And then poor Mikey just, for some reason, just can't jump.
No, you can't stick the landing at all.
Here we go.
So this game, you're gonna see first off, you see the points are different right there. It says 50 points instead of 1 for taking that guy out.
Wow.
The points are a little bit different. You're going to get your extra lives at different points in the game. And so you see right here, I'm able to special attack and then change direction midair. That's really hard to do, if not impossible, in the North American version. So this helps me take people out on both sides of me, and that's a big deal. And then they kind of patch that out. And then also our dive kicks are stronger in the Japanese version. You see, it took them out in one hit. So our dive kicks are stronger, and plus in the North American version, the dive kick, you can only do it at like the height of your jump as you start or as you're dropping. Where in the Japanese version, you can dive kick from any point in the jump that you can make happen. So your dive kicks are faster and stronger, and you have more range and everything. It's just easier, and you have less repeated waves of enemies. So you're going to get through it a little faster too.
Now, is this, we've talked about speedrunning before when we had John for the arcade for Turtles.
Yeah.
Does this, now, when you're doing this on speedrun.com, is there a different category for Japan and USA? Or does
There
it
probably is.
Okay.
I don't speedrun this game, but I have
Okay.
watched speedruns of this game.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Japan and America, because the games are different enough with spawn and with enemy spawns and stuff like that, it would have to be a different
Okay.
category. I would be surprised if it was the same category.
I'm curious to see how the couple spots are where there's some text boxes like the to see if they have the English or if it's Japanese. So stay tuned for that.
Pretty sure all the text in this game, aside from like the dojo level where there's the banners in the background,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all the text is the same as the North American version.
Doesn't look like they got the the Cowabunga collection, I think, removed them anyways. But do you know for the original Nintendo? Oh, I was talking about the sign for the Pizza Hut promotion. Do you know if the Japan game had
oh.
pizza? Like on the, I wonder if anybody is watching this, be sure to comment down below and let us know. I'm curious on that. If Japan had the pizza at marketing as well.
Right. I
Remember-
doubt they did, but yeah, let us know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see on that because this is my first time actually seeing it. I've heard of the Japan one, but I've never actually seen it played. And oh wow, nicely done there. How'd you do that? Just wow.
I'm not perfect at it, but I lured them to the left so that when they curved around at the wall, they would hopefully both curve into the same spot, and then I could stun lock them. Oof. There we go. April and a little base there. We're gonna try and set up Rocksteady here. I'm not perfect at it, but we're trying to get a kind of get him a little bit stun locked here. Oof. There we go. Nope, I'm too close.
Is it only one? Do you only get one chance to do that too, or?
No. I just got to get him to back up and start shooting. But he's not doing it. He's just doing everything but that. You see how much running around he's doing?
He's nervous.
There we go.
He's never.
Now I've got him. If I can get. There we go. There it is. It's just he's got to be in that pattern where he's kind of backed up against the wall and shooting straight or like diagonal. And once you get him there, if you can get just close enough, I could do special attacks, kind of aiming at his hand where it's holding the gun. And that's how I hit him without him hitting me back.
Yeah, it's only on that back wall, right? That you can do that?
Anytime. It's on the left or the right side, but as
okay,
long as he's backing up like that and doing that, you can... it was just taking a minute to get him back up like that. He decided he was going to do a lot of running today.
How much more does that make the game enjoyable? Because I wanted to get your take on this. I've seen in a lot of communities who are just not diehard Turtle fans, and some even who are. They can actually say this game is kind of boring because it can feel mundane. You're just walking around using your special attack, and then when your boss fight comes, all you're doing is drop kick. So, how do you feel this game's boring? And if not, why is it not boring to you?
Yes, I also understand the vernacular of someone who grew up reading every beat 'em up review between 2008 and 2015, where that was every beat 'em up review. Therefore, you think that way about every beat 'em up. However, if you're afraid that this game's going to get boring and you can't just go play the arcade version, then play the Japanese version because it's shorter. You have less enemy spawns. It's less repetitive. And also, if you're still bored, play with a friend. It's a multiplayer game. It's meant to be played with friends.
Absolutely. I just enjoy seeing the high score, too, instead of just 1, 2, 3. This sort of feels like you're more like at a Vegas slot machine.
Oh, yeah. Bonk.
Now, unfortunately, you cannot do your arcade trick that you showed us, the Josie special, when you're swinging diagonal.
Yeah, does not exist here. Here's your signs, Turtle Racing.
Turtle Racing instead of pizza. Okay, so it is a different thing altogether. Okay. Now, it's interesting. I actually did go to a bar that had live turtle racing, and it was pretty fun.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that would be a thing you could watch at a bar.
It is, yeah. It was called Joe's in Chicago, and it was just, I think I won a free t-shirt because they have you pick a turtle, and it was pretty fun. And it's also in Shenmue 3. If you ever check out that game, there's turtle racing in there.
Very cool. I'm going to do, now the Bebop one is really easy because he just needs to be right there. And what I'm doing is I am just doing a special attack at his gun. I'm actually a little bit closer than I want to be, but if I just do this special attack like this over and over again with that timing, he has no chance to recover from his stun lock.
Now, can you do that anywhere on the game or just there again in that spot?
That is...
Just attack the gun and you're safe?
Do that wherever Bebop is standing, as long as he's not in the middle of a run animation or something. If he's then you can grab him. I just happened to grab him the very first place he stopped. Yeah. I knew because he lands in the same spot every time. So I just walked up to him and just started doing that. Now, what's funny about that one, I didn't pick that one up from speedrunners, doing it with a special attack, yes. But even on the US version, I was playing as Raphael as a kid, and I would just do normal attacks aiming at Bebop's gun, and it would do the same thing that you saw there, just slower. So if you want to start out with normal attacks to see how well it works, like you can do that.
Oh man, that's awesome. Very cool.
So this game also fixed, there's something in the arcade version called Magic Pixel, where you can kind of hang out on the ledge here with your toe hanging off, and then it makes it so the foot can't line up with you. Magic Pixel does not exist in this version of the game. But this version of the game is also far more forgiving because it's a home console port. So you don't have to worry about Magic Pixel. Like, this game isn't like the arcade where it changes the difficulty mid-game.
I am really enjoying what you said earlier about this game not being boring, because you are just blazing through these levels. In the American one, you have to fight the same purple foot soldiers 2 or 3 times with the same pattern. Here, it's like you just get one set and go on.
Yeah, they don't repeat the patterns. They repeated the patterns in the North American version. So back in this time period when these games were being published, game rental was illegal in Japan. So games could actually be made easy enough because you had to buy it anyway. And so games could be made with at a more reasonable difficulty. In the US, though, we had like Blockbuster and everything, people renting games. Publishers didn't want you beating this game in like 2 days. So they would make the games harder. And in the case of Turtles, they, just repeated the enemy waves and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's a fun...
And, nerfed your jump kick.
Oh, that's why. Okay. What I like too is if you ever get time, if you're a good reader, there's a book called Console Wars, and it actually talks about Blockbuster and Nintendo's kind of war, because they really didn't want Blockbuster doing that either. They were kind of ticked off that they were doing that.
Oh yeah, a little bit, I would imagine.
Oh, it worked out great for us. $5, I think it may have been back in the day, for 2, 3, or 5 days, depending on what year we're talking about, and it was great. I loved it. And plus, it was a good way just to almost, try something out before you fully invest. Like, if you beat it, are you going to want to play it again? Is it too hard? I thought Blockbuster was great.
Yeah, and I didn't, when I was little, I wasn't beating these games, during rental most of the time. I was just playing it for a couple of days and checking it out. It was kind of like a paid full demo of the game. I have full access to the game for this many days to see if I really, really like it and want it for Christmas or not.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy looks easier.
So I'm trying to just kind of hang out wherever he is. He'll kind of circle and then move to the other side and move back in a figure 8 pattern. I was just hanging out with him and I got lucky. Baxter there hung out in one spot for long enough. I could just do a bunch of special attacks at him. But that explosion turned him into a fly, as you can see, instead of fighting Bebop and Rocksteady at the same time. Plus, we have a level that's not in the arcade game right here. We're going to go through the park first, where, for some reason, it's snowy now.
Yep. We've got the
We'll
lovely...
find out that reason at the end of the level.
I thought this was a really cool add-on, this part here. I like this level.
This was a really...
Yeah. Some new creative
I'm
characters.
sorry, you were saying also.
Yeah, you get some creative enemies in here. I always wish this guy would have been in more games, too, the enemy you're about to see in here. I believe his name is Tora. I always just call him Coca-Cola Bear, because that's the only time I've ever seen a bear with a jacket, or like in the wintertime hanging out, having a good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he was original creation for this game by like maybe Kevin Eastman or somebody.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So these guys, they fire these missiles out of their noses. That's where you would get an extra life in this game at this point. These guys are cool because I'm going to let them attack a little bit so you can see that they throw snowballs.
Yeah, these are my favorite footies
and
in the
that
game.
The snowballs actually poof like into little bits of snow like that when you get hit or when they hit you. So that's pretty cool. Instead of throwing knives or whatever, I thought it was really thematic. And you only see them in this level where the snow is.
Yeah, I thought they were my favorite foot soldiers. And of course, you got your dusty sewer where you can just fall through.
Oh yeah, I'm going to avoid that one today, but yes. I hang out toward the top of the screen most of the time because a lot of the hazards are... most hazard is toward the bottom of the screen. So, and this top right corner here I'm hanging out in also probably just comes from watching people do speed runs and seeing, like, trying to get guys as soon as they spawn onto the screen. So, but these guys here, I'm trying to see before he has a chance to actually pull off that attack, I try and hit him. So he's there, boom, he's there, and boom. And so you just kind of keep him off balance the whole time, and eventually he'll go down.
Yeah, this was pretty nasty as a kid playing this because you really didn't know where those boulders were falling on top of your head. And like I say, if you're not up on the top, that like snowplow can come and wreck your health.
Yeah, you can still get hit by those falling ice balls, even at the top of the screen. So here's your Stone Warrior Dimension X weather generator. It's the cause of all the cold here. And even if you don't know what that is, you'll get it by context by the end of the level. So this guy here, I'm going to use my unnerfed jump kick to just chase him as best I can. I'm not good enough to keep him through the whole fight. See, one of my jump inputs was like badly timed, and I got smacked around there. But this right here is a pretty good strategy for the most part. It's just a lot harder to do in the North American version because your jump kick timing and power have both been nerfed.
Oh yeah.
So, and then you see the cutscene plays where the turtle kicks the weather generator, the weather turns back to normal, and we're past our first bonus level.
And we get the lovely spring is here. I always play this game in March just for that spot. That was always my Facebook post, when spring comes around. Really
And that
cool
little what do you call it? The whole thing is just kind of cute. The music, the music is pretty cute too. So, and it sounds like something out of like the cartoons or whatever.
Well, I agree.
So this garage level is pretty fun. It's kind of a turning point in difficulty for the arcade game, but this one, it's still just like fun. Like we're not really like up there yet in terms of difficulty. I don't remember, this car doesn't move. Yeah. So I think these guys that throw things, because our jump kick is better in this game, I will use the jump kick more often. If it's got the right timing, like if I can time it to when they're throwing a knife at me, I can just go past that knife. That didn't work at all. So
Curious
you see, I was able to take both of those guys out. So
curious to see if this game is as pizza friendly as the United States one too, because there's supposed to be a pizza at this boss fight. We'll see if it's as friendly, because in Hyperstone Heist, I don't know if you've played that recently, they suffered a pizza shortage in that game. My friend streamed that and pointed out, and I never noticed it until I played it more often, where in Turtles in Time you're getting like almost a pizza in every level, and Hyperstone Heist it stops after the third level.
oh yeah, this game, I'm pretty sure the pizzas are the same.
Okay.
Most of what's different about this game is just what can be changed super, super easily. Like, okay, instead of one wave of gun guys there, it's 2 waves of gun guys there, or something like that. That do the same pattern and all that other nonsense. Trying to get this. There we go.
Oh man, nice 3-for-1 special.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get that one, and I just couldn't. So, oof. Sometimes I can get all 3 of those guys.
That's it looked like a bad break. It looked like I would have attacked at the exact same time you did, just a rough break.
That's all right. It happens. There's RNG in this game. So we're gonna get Baxter instead of a Bebop and Rocksteady duo here, but he's pretty easy. I can just kind of, once I find what corner he's gonna go to, maybe I can influence him to a corner, right? Then there we go. I'm just gonna push him back. And I got some background noise going on outside. Can you hear that at all? So there we go. Oh, let's try and get this Baxter again. So we're going to come up here. There we go. Now, as soon as he goes to fire that like this, you see I can just jump up there. If I do it too early, it's not going to work. But if I time it with him firing those shots straight downward, he's as easy as the giant mouser from the first game.
Oh, wow. I don't even need to edit that part. That was faster than a Ninja Turtle. You're like, yeah, I'll be back. I'm like, oh, okay, my time. No, we're good.
Yeah.
Nicely done there. And time for a little smooch action here.
Super fast. So yeah, you might have to snip that a little bit.
Yep. A little smooch action.
Anyway. So highway level now. Everyone knows the highway level. If you don't know how to get the April Kiss, just be the person with the highest score during multiplayer.
Oh, it isn't the last hit. Okay. Very nice.
Spear guys are a lot easier in this, but they don't lose their spear after one throw. But everything else about them is a lot easier. Plus, I'm able to do that 180-degree, spinning super there, special attack.
Look how much faster you're going, too. Again, we're only doing this for about 20 minutes, and you're already here. I would say in the American version, unless you're a pro speedrunner, you're probably still at maybe, I'd say level 3 with all the repeats and how long it takes to dropkick those bosses, too. So those stun locks save you a lot of time, too, especially that Bebop fight. That saves you a good 2-3 minutes.
It does. So these guys, if I can get them while they're like throwing stuff at me, I can just drop kick them. And that's a real fast way to do it. Otherwise, they do stuff like that, where they punch you while you're trying to do special attacks. So you don't want to crowd people who throw stuff at you so much, if their entire job is throwing stuff at you. You just kind of time it to counter the throw. If you are running a little short on lives by this point in the game, though. There is a spot here where these motorcycles come through just kind of infinitely. And you actually, if you line yourself up, you can take these guys out, and they give you points in the North American version so that you can just keep getting lives forever.
That's huge, though, because the only other spot I recall as a kid was trying to grind those missiles in the sewer at the bottom.
That is another spot where you can grind. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So, but you can just turn up extra lives in the menu on the Cowabunga collection or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's all
you got
you need.
continues. If you get pretty decent at this game, you're not going to lose that many lives anyway, until maybe like the very end. And by that point, if you've been pretty good, you'll be fine.
Now, what does God mode actually do on this for the Cowabunga collection? Have you ever experimented with that?
I haven't experimented. I didn't see God mode. I didn't notice God mode for the cheats on this one, for the enhancements.
Oh, okay.
But on the God mode, I saw that on the arcade version, and that one will give you like infinite health and the ability to hit pretty much almost every enemy in one hit. So, including most bosses.
Those are pretty
So
much
in this one, though, the enhancement I put on was extra lives, so that we don't have to worry about running out of lives and taking continues and stuff, just in case I have an extra bad day today. I'm going to jump up. I'm going to get behind him. I'm going to try and chase him like that, but he might back off. So then I got to lead him out here again, and then jump up and overpass. And I'm trying to kind of hit the center of him from underneath behind. So bing, can I go like that? And if I can draw him out just right, then nothing bad's going to happen. Skateboard levels, especially rocket skateboard levels on a highway, are always super fun in a Turtles game.
Oh, yeah. It's another cool thing. That's why I appreciate little things like this that they do. Again, this isn't just a regular we're just going to walk around and punch stuff. They always try to at least add something or implement something creative. And these guys were actually, I thought, I know in the arcade you're losing quarters when you get the missile guys, but these gun guys were tougher because I believe you even showed us a tip in our play of this where you could actually just stay up top and you were safe. And this guy actually looks like he has the missiles and the rockets.
Yeah, they combined them into one enemy here. Plus, you can't wait it out. The skateboard level in the arcade version is on a timer. So as long as you just wait till you get to about this point in the stage in the arcade version without killing anybody, the helicopters will pass you by, even if slowly. And the guys on the skateboards will just kind of hang out with you until the end. And then you can, at the very end, just kill those skateboard guys. And those are the only guys you have to kill in the entire level. This one's not on a timer. You actually have to kill those enemies. So I went ahead and did so. And what I showed you with the drop kicks and whatnot, that's the best kind of casual way to get it done. Other than, say, maybe just multiple jump kicks.
Now, just for fun, since you are a diehard Turtle fan, what is your theory as to why the Turtle Van crashes in both the arcade and the NES version when they say, hang on, guys?
It could be anything. Maybe the brakes went out. Maybe someone was eating pizza behind the wheel. Maybe, you've seen that gif of April driving crazy from the first season when she was trying to dodge that missile. When you see it out of context, it just looks like she doesn't know how to drive. And maybe it was something like that. Who knows? I think it might be even just that it's pretty hard to go from rocket skateboard to driving on the freeway as a teenager. So, maybe it's just, young drivers.
I think I'll go with your theory on April because, like you say, it's like if you're playing with all four turtles in the arcade, who's driving that van? How does it magically just, appear and open the door for you to get in? Good call.
Donatello's techno magic. I don't know.
That's true.
But yeah, that's a good point. These guys are really annoying, so I'm going to try and take them out before they start attacking, if possible. There's only 4 of them in the Japanese version.
Oh my god, that's so late.
Waves of them in the Japanese version, and it's not fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you said it.
Not at all.
That was nasty when we played that as kids in the States, because that's like 10, 12, easy.
Oops. There we go. So there's only a few spots these guys really spawn from in these corners. And just kind of hang out in one and hope that everyone comes to the same corner as you. And if they don't, it's fine. We're not speedrunning. These guys take 2 dive kicks or 2 special attacks to take down.
This was always a tough spot, too, just for me as a kid, because you're trying to get to the pizza. I'm low on health. And it's like, hey, what the heck? In the arcade, there's only one batch. Why do we got to have two here?
Exactly. And you got to hit them twice.
Oh, yeah.
You don't got to hit them twice in the special attack in the.
That's right.
You only got to hit them once in the special attack in
Good
the
point, too.
arcade version. Yeah.
Just another random question for you. How crazy would it have been if they would have implemented Raphael's special from the arcade into the Nintendo system? Can you imagine doing like that somersault kick?
I bet if they had time and resources, they probably could have, and they probably would have.
Yeah.
So this Granitor fight is going to be really interesting. It's hard to explain, but I'm just going to kind of bring him to this corner and get shot in the face. But I'm going to walk in a little bit, and then I'm kind of doing this weird thing where I am trying to get a couple of hits in and then jump when he does his swipe there. And then I move a little bit to kind of mess with his sense of distance, and then I do it again, and then I'm just kind of like landing in a spot and then moving in a little bit closer than you would expect you could be safe.
That's
So
incredible.
jump up, kind of move in a little bit, jump up, kind of move in a little bit, jump up.
And
Move in a little bit.
that disarms
There
this
you
whole
go.
blowtorch attack, too. You can't use that blowtorch gun at all over there. Nicely done.
No. So I don't have that pattern perfect, but you can see for the most part, like I lost half my life there from getting smacked around a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Like the little footsie work that I was doing there to kind of change the distance as soon as I land, that's the little unseen part that makes that thing kind of magical. So people who speedrun can tell you how to do it with like actual understanding of the game mechanics and whatnot. I'm just doing it by feel.
Nice, and here's our second bonus stage. Now, those guys remind me a little bit of the guys in Turtles 1. It's just they're bigger here. They're in that spot where you got to go grab the battle ropes. That guy, they kind of look like that guy. It's like he looks a little more enhanced.
A little bit, yeah, and they throw these kunais, so they're very like Japanese style ninja. This banner that's behind me, it says, if I translate it, it says do one evil deed per day. Literally, it just says one day, one evil. But like it's just a turn, like they say do a good deed daily. It's just the bad guy version. Do a bad deed daily.
Right.
So you get a nice view of the city out here. This dojo level's pretty fun. You got dudes bopping up through the tatami. Like this is like a very like Japanese developers put some Japanese stuff into a game about second generation Japanese mutant immigrants.
Oh yeah, and like why not? I mean, they had to do something to make it different because the arcade game would have been I guess it would have been almost like a Game Boy feeling game because without having these extra 2 levels.
Right.
Curious to see how many scorpions you got to deal with in this Japanese game too. Those guys I think are still probably. It used to be the tiger that used to give me problems, but I got him pretty much down. So scorpions that are still give me problems when I'm trying to do a deathless run or just trying to. And that part too.
Yeah, I didn't get all the way through there that time. I didn't scroll quite right, but I try and start jumping just a little bit beforehand. So that one right there says Japan #1.
Oh, okay.
Like, yay, Japan. So these tiger guys do give me a problem too. I got to do it the slow way. You can do this with special attacks, but like I'm bad at it. Okay, so then he moved up there. So I got to come down just a little bit. If he's not being weird and random, then he will just kind of move down the screen. And I'm kind of going by feel there as to whether or not he's going to do that jump. Just kind of like after so many steps, I know he's going to do that jump. I haven't counted the frames, but I can kind of feel it out just from playing the game. Can't jump kick like that. If your special doesn't land at the right time, you'll get knocked back like that too. So I think it takes about 8 hits or so.
A lot less here, that's for sure, compared to the U.S. one I was trying. I think the U.S. one's almost like at least another half. So if it's 8 here, it's probably like 12 there.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, so it's not that there's only 2 of them. They're about 8 hits each. So like I can't really. So I got this one cornered just by accident. So I'm gonna go ahead and just smack it around a little bit.
Yeah, these are the guys that gave me a little bit of trouble.
But these guys are tough, and I got them both like on opposite sides of me. And if I try and jump attack at them, they'll either jump back like that or hit me. And if I can get them to jump back like that, you see, they were no big deal.
Oh yeah,
I got them cornered, stun locked. So these guys, I don't like to corner them too much because they will.
Did they ever say the name of those characters, Bushido, in the game, like in manual, whatever the name of these guys were?
I don't remember, but we can look up that stuff in the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that's right. We
stuff
can do
and
the
the
bonus stuff.
instruction
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if you guys
on
stick around for the
comic.
end of this, we might dig a little deeper. We got time.
Yeah. So we can go take a look at the enemy designs and their names. I like this like rotating wall. You get those like in Japan if you go to like near Nagoya, they have the Iga Ninja Clan like museum where like in a place where like in a region where ninjas used to come from in Japan. And they have these rotating walls and stuff they'll show you when you go on a tour, just like the rotating walls we saw there. So, and then this banner in the back here says Budo, which means martial arts. Now this guy, I'm just going to try and button mash the crap out of him until his head comes off. Because if he's doing other animations than just hanging out on a certain frame, which I don't know what that frame is, his head can't come off because he's doing other animations. But that time I got caught. He got standing neutral during that frame and his head came off. So I might end up actually losing a life here. That's okay.
I was also curious, have you ever played the Rescue Palooza version of this level? And if so, what were your thoughts on it?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have not. Someone asked me about Rescue Palooza yesterday. See, his head immediately came off again. This boss kills speedruns. So, but if you're just playing it normal, like that's the first life I've lost this entire game, and I've gained like 2 from. So I'd probably have like 3 or 4 lives still left if I was playing just normal.
Yeah. And we also talked about deathless runs. That's pretty much the first. Well, it's usually one of the tougher levels to get through. Of course, this one too, because you got to fight 3 bosses in 1 round. Good luck.
Yeah, and Krang's the one that's gonna probably be the one most likely to actually take you out if you're already skilled at the game.
Oh yeah.
Just because he's just very unfair.
I just noticed something I never noticed before. You just took out a boomerang just swinging. You could actually do that too, just like how you did in the Game Boy game earlier. Wow.
Yeah, you can do it on the arcade as well. You can take out the knives, you can take out the shuriken, you can take out the boomerangs just with a swipe. So this part of the game here, I usually try and like get enough enemies. Like I try and kill enough enemies so there's few enough on screen I can continue scrolling, and then I try and just hop through these freezing things that are pop up. But you see there.
And that's another full run in the American version. Yeah, I've played the American one a lot since I was a youngster, and I am noticing a lot of differences. Yeah. And I am definitely looking forward to giving the Japanese version a run, probably in the near future. This just looks amazing. I mean, it's incredible. It's definitely, in my opinion, a way better game. It's a better experience too.
Yeah, I think it's a more succinct kind of. It's the experience they want. Now you're going to get about 12 of these guys here, but it's the only other time in the game you're going to run into these guys. So. They are annoying, but you'll live. And with your more powerful jump kick, it makes it even easier. So it's a little scary, but if you stay on top of it, be preemptive, you'll be fine.
Lovely little drone guns. At least they don't chuck back to you. I like how they don't turn around.
Yeah, me too. Oof.
Back right into that laser. Oof.
I'm trying not to. They put those lasers in like really... Like, especially in the arcade version, they'll put you around a bunch of dudes that can knock you backwards and put a laser on the screen and just make it so, oof.
Now, did you have a foot soldier
that... side of that. Yeah. I'm trying to learn how to dodge these a certain way by, like, zigzagging through them. I've seen it done. I'm just not good at it yet.
Now, is there a...
I got a life for killing the Shogun, by the way. So even though I lost a life killing the Shogun, I gained a life killing the Shogun. Incredible. So, in the previous level.
Now, was there a foot soldier you struggled with as a kid? I think you mentioned the spear ones. For me, it was more like the boomerang. It was the gun ones that I always had the roughest time with as a kid.
The arcade version, the gun ones
right
are rough. The spear ones are rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like any of these ones like this, where you have to have a certain kind of timing. Otherwise, they're going to counter even your ability to kind of get around their firing. So... if you're too early or too late, they're going to knock you away with a physical attack with the gun. Oops, my bad.
I almost got all of them again with that nice little like loop-de-loop, almost like tying your shoe.
I just actually hit that menu button with my finger. But yeah, I just try and, like I said, I feel it out and try and lead them into a corner and see what's going to happen. And I get whatever I can.
Yeah.
If I end up in a spot like this where it's just going to be really weird, then, whatever. I don't know if there's any more of those guys in the game or if that's the last set.
Oh, I think there's, well, in the American one, I know there's one more. Yeah, we'll find out.
I think it's the last set. I think this is the big, kind of final rush. This big final rush where it just seems like these foot soldiers are coming out forever. Like this is normal in like every level of the US version.
Yeah.
And that's where it can get boring and stuff. But right there, like that's the only instance of it.
Yeah, that's it. There's definitely another roadkill set in the American version. Wow. And that's okay because that's the end of the foot. It makes sense to have it there. Here you go. This is our last try to get you before general track comes out. So similar strategy here. It looks like too, Bushido.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. There we go. Now I got my timing. I'll do one special attack and then I'll jump. And I'm at the right distance now that he doesn't do other things. So I've just kind of, felt him out. And I said, okay, you're going to keep doing that if I stand right here. Cool. And I probably stole that from a speedrunner. It's easier than the Granitor one once you get it set up. Just like Bebop is easier than Rocksteady.
Our last two bosses coming up.
Yeah. I've only got 13 lives to deal with Krang and Shredders, so hopefully I'll be okay. Like I said, Krang is incredibly unfair. I don't know like a really good way to fight him, but I have a bunch of lives, and even if I didn't have extra lives right now, I'd still have a bunch of lives. I can be pretty confident that I can just kind of do this. Like this is the only button mashy part of the game for me. I haven't figured out yet how to, because he counters way too well and has all kinds of ranges and angles that just make him unfair.
There is one tip I can share. This is great for speedrunning anyways. This switch, so you're not flying all over the screen. My one streaming friend, Little Mixer, I watched him, and I always give him a tip for this. So when Krang shoots that laser, you can drop kick him, and then on the other side, you can do your special attack right away and then get out. That's like the best way to go about it. So you just gotta time your drop kick when he shoots the laser, come down, hit him with your attack on the other side, and then get out of there. That's all I've learned. And it only is with the laser. So that's the only way I actually pulled off my Deathless run.
Now, the real Shredder is going to spawn to the right, and I want him in the corner there. Now I don't know which one's which. But I'm trying to get them lined up on a certain side of the room here. And there we go. So if I hang out in this spot...
Wait a minute.
Okay, so that's the fake one. So that means...
wow, you didn't turn into a baby turtle there, though. Is that just because...
No. So when Shredder... If I stand on this kind of line of the screen... I can actually just kind of avoid that. So I'm going to see if I can get the correct Shredder. There we go. I think that's the correct Shredder right there. So now he's going to be stuck doing that for a while. And I'm just going to jump up. And when I reach that little ball at the top of the screen there, that's when I press kick. That's my timing. And I just hang out in this spot. And I can totally cheese the boss. Also, that life I lost to Krang, I got it right back as soon as I beat him because of the amount of points he gives you.
And what's great here is again, otherwise what happens is you're not wasting time, but you're just spending a lot more time that's almost not needed because he's going to keep getting that clone Shredder going here. So, this is... wow.
So, like, the real Shredder spawns to the right in this game, and if you can keep track of which one's which as they're moving around each other and kind of get used to their patterns, you can lead them, and they want to get on either side of you. So you lead the correct one to the wall and leave the fake one behind you, and the fake one will go and start doing those blasts, and you're standing in kind of a safe spot for the hitbox of it, and you can just keep doing that kick. Anyway, the Technodrome exploded.
What I like about that is the other... I can't recall, maybe in a speedrun if I've watched one, I've seen it, but I usually can't recall what you just did where the clone Shredder's just like, yep, I got to go too. Nicely. GG's there.
Thank you. Yeah, so same epilogue as the arcade game, as the one from when we played the arcade game, when we played...
the Game Boy one too? Right,
yeah, so Freak the Foots, Mangle the Bowsers, Told the Technodrome, That's Turtle Power. But what about Shredder and Krang? Burn a Toast, Vaporize a Milkshake, Escape Dimension X. You know the lines. So, and then we get a cool credit sequence here.
I always enjoyed this with the blimp chilling. Well, we got this one here. Let's go ahead and let people know where they can find you if they ever want to watch you playing Turtles or any other retro games or any games in general.
Yeah, my name is SewerBushido. Everywhere you can find me publishing stuff as SewerBushido. And that includes Twitch, so twitch.tv/SewerBushido. Right now I'm playing Link's Awakening. I like Turtles games a lot. I like Zelda games a lot, so you'll catch me playing those a lot.
Awesome. Now, if you were to rank which one you like better, the arcade, or no, I'd really actually ask the question this way: do you think that Konami did a great job with the console port? Because at the time, we couldn't have this arcade port at home. You know, we didn't get an arcade port until like legally until Xbox Arcade released it, right? Or the Turtles 2003 games, you could get like a port of it. So how well do you think Nintendo did with this game, bringing it to home consoles?
I think they did an excellent job bringing this to home consoles for like the power that the NES had. You know, it lacked a lot compared to a JAMA board, and which is what Konami was putting the arcade game on. And as limited as it is, you can't do 4 players. You can only do 2. You're limited on how many characters are on screen. You don't get to do the Bebop and Rocksteady dual fight, probably because they're too big of sprites to have on screen together with 2 turtles in April. So, and they were able to kind of put new stuff in there to kind of make up for it. And so, yeah, it's a really fun game. I owned this as a kid and I played it all the time. So it's, and I always thought the arcade version was like the better true experience as a kid, but this was still excellent.
No, I agree. It was always fun playing with my brother and cousin late at nights for sleepovers. It was always our go-to game until a new game comes out for the Nintendo and the Turtle. But yeah, this game was awesome. I'd say it's a classic because, again, this is the one that a lot of people grew up with. So you were going to show us a little bonus here, too, for those who don't know about the Cowabunga collection. This is how you actually get to enjoy more of your buck here.
Yeah, so you get game manuals here, including English and Japanese. We'll see what they call them in English here, if we get a thing or not. Yeah, so where's my controls? Okay, so zoom in.
Oh, there we go.
Zoom in, move over. So Venom, Blade, and Vincent Van Growl is what they call them in the North American version.
What a trivia question is that? What is the name of the tiger in Shogun level? Vincent Van Growl.
So we'll look at the Japanese version here. We're going to actually show captions. There's not really any captions here, so I'll see if I can... Okay. I'll see if my Japanese is good enough. But they use the same art there. And this guy his name is very simple. It's just Ninja Robo. So it's a ninja robot. That's his name. That says Ninja Yashiki Biru o Maru. So it's saying that you find him in the building. So I don't know exactly, but you find him in the building. Both of these enemies. It's describing both of these enemies here. So, but we can also go back and look at, say, like behind the scenes kind of stuff right here. You can look at original artwork, style guides. So we'll go to Turtles 2 NES. We can look at the enemies here and turn on we have captions here. They actually translate the captions on this part. So we can go find whatever the equivalent of that guy is in here if you want to, and you can learn about what they were thinking about when they designed him in the game. So like this guy right here looks like it.
Yep.
So yeah, Ninja Robo, it says the name right there. Ninja Robot, stage 9, your inner enemy. So you can turn on and off captions. 400 points, life 8. And the way they drew him there, he looks like a ninja with a cycloptic eye, just like the arcade. Just like the instruction manual. His arms are a little less robotic. They look a little more normal in this case. And he's throwing kunai, just like in the game. It says, appears within the ninja mansion, occasionally jumps and throws shuriken. So.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate
that. So you
can
find out all that.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we hope to have you on again for another gaming series, Sewer. It's always a pleasure spending some time with you. Hopefully we'll catch you in a live stream soon, my friend. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.